think we are ready to get started with this stream. Let me just set up the Switch dock first. It's going to take a little bit here. It's been a long time since I've streamed something that isn't for class or something Pokemon related. So, let's get back. I need to log in. I'm not going to do that. Alrighty, I think we're just going to try and do this blind. I do not know if I'm live right now or not. Let's go try to fix that. It just logged me out of Twitch. That's pretty horrible. Looks like there's a bunch of glitches here on the app. Alrighty, it looks like we are ready to go. Okay, good afternoon everyone. This is One Who Gets Bread, and in today's stream, this is going to just be a stream talking about the Silver Tempest set that officially released today. And this is the last major set of the Sword and Shield era. The only last set of this Sword and Shield era will be a holiday special set, like a gift set called the Crown Zenith. We'll be having some of that as it rolls out here in December, but right now we do have the last major set of Sword and Shield, the Silver Tempest set. And I pulled some of the more rare cards I came across from this newest expansion. So first we have the two secret rares here, a Superior VMAX and the Energy Switch. Let's go take a look at the Superior VMAX. This is from a pack from Pokenerds, and they have their sale. That's 3 packs for $10. It's a very good money saver. I know it's pretty hard to find gifts right now at affordable prices. Places like your local card stores like Pokenerds and some of these smaller chain areas will have a better bang for your buck when it comes to Pokemon cards. So I got these from packs from them. And the Superior V-Star has a very interesting attack. You have 3 energy, 2 colorless, 1 grass, Regal Blender. It does 190. And you could move an amount of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like when you use this attack. You'll want to move it to the Superior if you're going to use the V-Star power, however, because of Starwinder. It does 60 times the amount of energy onto your Superior, and then you're allowed to switch this with one of your bench Pokemon. Of course, since it's a V-Star, you could only use it once per game, so gotta plan that accordingly. Very nice card. It's an underappreciated Univens starter, for sure. I remember using Contrary Superior online in battles, and the trick with the Contrary Superior, you have to use one with its hidden ability, and you just spam Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm usually lowers your special attack, but since the Superior has a hidden ability of Contrary, it actually will raise your special attack after each use of the move. So, very interesting competitive lore on that Pokemon, the Superior. Then we have our Energy Switch. Very nice secret rare card. And these have been in top loaders since Monday when I got them. And they're actually going to be sold to one of my friends. So these are just in transit right now on their way to my friend. He's buying them for me. Right, the next couple of cards I also got on Monday were the Radiant Jirachi and Radiant Alakazam. The Radiant Alakazam did see some play during the pre-release, and it might be used in some single prizers going forward in this set. So we have the ability Painful Spoons. Once during your turn, you may move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponents to another of their Pokemon. So just moving the damage around, you might get a KO. If you're really good on pinging the Pokemon in the correct spots, you might get a prize card from using that ability. And then there's also Mind Ruler. Does 20 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. So, there's Radiant Alakazam. Radiant Jirachi. This is, again, you could only have one Radiant Pokemon, so you have about, I don't know, maybe 10 of them to choose from at the moment. And this Jirachi is interesting because if this Pokemon's in the active spot, it's knocked out from an attack, you search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. So it kind of allows you to set up for the next Pokemon that's going to be put into the active spot. And then we have, I don't remember the attack's name, but we have something that's called Misfortune something, if I remember. Astro Misfortune, I think. And how this works, it's kind of like the Timber Cleavor from Astral Radiance 2 sets ago, where if you got 2 heads, then the active Pokemon of the opponent is knocked out. So, very up-to-chance card. I personally like these up-to-chance cards. There's also a Gothitelle in Dark Explorers, or was it Dragon's Exalted, that had something similar, where if you flipped 2 coins and both of them were heads, you knock out the opponent's Pokemon instantly. I always love cards like that. Very interesting stuff. Maybe you could do this in a deck using the... There's the Ambipom that involves all those coin flips. That might be interesting with this. You know, you need a Glimwood Tangle, but you only have like a month or so to use that card as your stadium because it's about to be phased out in January 2023. But there should be other ways to move this thing around. You could give it a blunder policy, so you get to reflip for that Misfortune attack in case you only get 1 or 0 heads. And then hopefully you could get both of them heads in the second round. But yeah, there's probably some situations where you could use this. Our next one was pulled yesterday. This is Hisuian Arcanine V. It's one of my favorite Pokemon from Legends Arceus, and you have something here, this Rock Bullet attack. It does 30 more damage off of the base 90 for each fighting energy attached to this Pokemon. So if you have 1 fighting, it looks like you need actually 4, so let's say 4 fighting energy attached. You're doing 90 plus 120, that's 210. And then Irresistible Force. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a fighting energy from one of your other Pokemon to this Pokemon, so you're able to just move them around. It's very good to have that fluidity in a deck, I think, so we might see this. I do not know. Alright, next one. It's the Altaria. This is a Trainer Gallery Altaria. It's just a very cute artwork. You could move your damage counters around. It looks like move all damage counters from one of your benched Pokemon to your opponent's active. That might be interesting. If you have a V that's very damaged on the bench, you move it. You move it all to the opponent's active. That could net you a KO. This might be an interesting card to look out for in a meme deck or something like that. Okay, now we get to the fun part. We're going to be sorting through all this bulk. These cards were purchased from PokeNerds again. Thank you so much, PokeNerds, for all the help and having all these great deals for Pokemon cards and merchandise and whatnot. Alright, let's crack this thing open. This is probably going to be in multiple rounds because there's just so many cards in this thing. But let's just go through them. I've been trying to sort them by type and stuff, and then just going through the bulk, seeing what we could find. Alright, so here's the first stack out of many. Just keep that closed. Any of the extras I'll probably give to the neighbors or stuff like that. Alrighty, so let's just start sorting through. I'm gonna cut this in half. And make sure there's nothing in here that's there we go. Some of the cards are like out of the, of course they're out of the booster box packs, and it feels like they have that thin layer of powder from the factory or printing press still on them, which is very interesting. very excited to buy more of these cards from this set in particular, because the Trainer Gallery, I think these are some of the best Trainer Gallery artworks we've seen in a long time. They're much better than Astral Radiance. Lost Origin is a very close contender, in my opinion. But very nice Trainer Galleries all around these new sets. Alright, so we have Vulpix. I'm just going to do them by type and what kind of card. So, Noibat. It's a foil. Emolga. A lot of foils. There's an energy. Altaria. Lance. Alright, let's look at some of these supporters, because we didn't get a lot of them during the pre-release, so we might see some new ones in this stack. Alright, so Lance, the champion from Johto. Search your deck for up to 3 dragons, reveal them and put them into your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. Alright. Could probably call out a few things, maybe the Giratina. It doesn't say it has to be an evolution, it doesn't say it has to be a basic, so you could call out some V-stars, V-maxes with that, I imagine. Alright, I'm just going to actually move the stack off camera, so we have more room where we're sorting these in their respective areas. They're towers. They're going to look like towers when we get a lot of cards later on. Okay, here's a Sunkern. There's that interesting Sunflora deck we talked about last time on the stream about, oh, how long is that ago? 2 weeks ago, I think. We talked about the Sunflora deck that might be making its rounds. We could try and build it later, but I have a lot of exams to do, so maybe I'll have to wait after the Scarlet and Violet release. Maybe. Possibly. I am getting Pokemon Violet, by the way. Here's Miss Magius. Again, one of my favorite Pokemon. Very happy to see it back here in this set. We don't have a Psychic type pile. Oh, let's move these up. I'll move this up, yeah. There we go. Psychic type pile right there, fighting on that side. That's just water. We don't need that, really. There's our Miss Magius code card. Here's a Chimecho, Baneri, Drowsy. Kind of Lost Origin, in my opinion, felt more like the last ever set. This one, not so much. This feels like maybe a middle set of an era of cards, in my opinion. Lost Origin, I think, if they made it the last set, I think it would have made more sense, because they brought back the Lost Zone. And in this one, there isn't really anything new except for the V-Star item cards that give you an extra attack and stuff. I think I would have finished out the Sword and Shield era with the Lost Zone, with Lost Origin as the last thing. But all in all, I'm pretty happy about this set. It's nice. There's a lot of nice, again, the trainer galleries, this set. Alright, we don't have a grass pile either, so that's going to go up there. And here's the first holofoil of stream. We have the Medicham. It has Chakra Awakening, or Chakra Awakening, I think. If you have exactly 4 cards in your hand, this Pokemon's attacks cost 3 less. So we could do that Vigorous Kick if we have exactly 4 cards in our hand. Probably going to need to play a Judge before you do this card, or have something that you'll discard from your hand in order to use it. Vigorous Kick. If your opponent has any Pokemon VMAX in play, this attack does 90 more damage for a whopping 170. There we go. Pretty cool holofoil. It kind of bled through. I don't know if that's an error or not, but interesting. Very interesting. There's 4 lines there if you could see them on the camera lens. Alright, I am going to put the holofoils on top of the reverse foils. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to pitch the energy, and we're going to move those over there. So that's going to be our holofoil section. We'll have to sleeve our holofoils and stuff later on. I'll move them more to the center so we could see them better. There we go. Alrighty, let's continue. V-Star marker. Oh yeah, by the way, I will be giving away a code card or 2 during this stream, but in order to kind of hide it, I am going to give so there isn't a bot or something like that sniping it. I'm going to hide half of it, so this is the first half, or the second half of the code card, and in a little bit I'll be revealing the first full code card of this stream. It's a giveaway. Alrighty, there's Jinx, Toxapex. Look at this thing, Venoshock. If your opponent's active is poisoned, this attack does 120 more damage, and it's only for 1 dark energy. So you could run, if you want to do one with minimal amount of energy, you could run this Toxapex. You could probably put the Hisuian Sneasler on the bench, increase the poison damage a bit, and then you could also, in addition to that, you could also bring that Hisuian Overquill that you don't even need energy to attack with, and then you just slap a bunch of poisons onto the opponent, watch him take 50 damage in between turns, Venoshock him, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. Here's Professor Laventon, supporter, again the professor from Pokemon Legends Arceus. Put up to 3 Pokemon that have Hisuian in their name from your discard pile to your hand. Here's a Clink. We don't have a steel type. We don't have a steel type pile. Gonna have to put that over there. Sunkern. Alright, we'll be using that Sunflower deck. I'll try to build it later on. Petalil. Litten. Alright, Litten's line in this set has some pretty interesting attacks. The Incineroar could use any of the attacks from the Litten or Torracat. And this Litten in particular has Reprisal. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So you could do a maximum of, if you're very lucky, you could do a maximum of, without adding anything that'll change the HP, of course, you could do a maximum of 120 damage for just 2. And that's even for a basic Pokemon of a Stage 2 line. Interesting, very interesting. There's our Torracat. I'm just going to put the Litten on top of it. Here's Murkrow. That goes into our dark pile. Alrighty. Next set. Dratini, Wailmer, and Feebas. There are a lot of Psychic cards and Water cards in this set. This is just like a sneak peek at all of the arts and stuff. I haven't seen all the commons until like yesterday, so any of those non-V cards, basically, I haven't seen all of them since yesterday when I got all these ones. Some pretty interesting artworks. Like this one, this is kind of like a watercolor pencil even, I'd argue. That kind of looks like watercolor pencil. There's Phanpy. There's another Litten. We have a Primordial Altar. And at the Primordial Altar, once during each player's turn, that Pokemon may look at that player, not Pokemon. That player may look at the top card of their deck, and they may discard that card. Interesting. I guess you could do that with a Gengar. I know the Gengar has to be placed on the bench if it's in the discard pile. There's also a Metagross in Silver Tempest where you could put it onto the bench if it's drawn, but I don't think it has to be in the discard pile. I have to read up on that card. There's also the Braixen and Dullfox, I think. If you have a Serena in the discard pile, you could do more damage with one of its attacks, I think. So you could put a Serena that way or use a Serena however you choose if you're building that deck. Alright, here's a Crobat. Venomous Fang for 1 dark does 50, and you poison the opponent, or for 3 colorless, you do Critical Bite. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And if this attack knocks out a Pokemon, you take 2 more prize cards. So you basically kill something and trade it as a VMAX. You get 3 prize cards from that KO. Interesting card. Put that to the holofoil. Psychic Energy. Clang. Alright. Clang and Clink and Clinklang are some of my favorite Pokemon too. I tried to use a Clinklang in online single matches. I have one that's a clear body and I think it's, oh shoot, is it, I think it's Jolly, or it's Adamant. It's either Adamant or Jolly. I think I ran Adamant. Gear Grind, maximum return, so 200 base power, normal move, are the other moves. Autotomize, and there's one more which I can't think about right now. I know Gear Grind's on there. I can't, maybe Rock Smash? No, I can't remember. I have to check. Here's Claydol. Or is it Shift Gear? Now I can't remember. I'll have to see when I play Omega Ruby again. Here's a Worker. Draw 3 cards and discard a stadium in play. To put her there. Here's Togedemaru. Okay, so Togedash. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent can't take any prize cards for it. So basically, Togedemaru is going to go, can't touch this. Yep, that's basically what this card is. So again, a prize denial card. Very interesting to see prize denial being baked into the attack's effects. Very innovative. We've seen prize denial cards on here before. I think the Trevenant from Lost Origin, the Komala, I think also from Lost Origin. There are a few of them in these recent sets that do prize denial as a Pokemon attack. We have Petalil, there's Pikachu, Growlithe, Clink, Anorith. Alright, Anorith will work with the Omastar V. It will also work with the Relicanth, and it's because you want to get these Armaldo and other fossil Pokemon in play, because we have the unidentified fossil, so you could even get the ones from Astral Radiance into play. Anorith here has an attack called Fossil Drop. You may discard an unidentified fossil from your hand. If you do, this attack does 120 more damage. So you're going to be doing 150 for just 2 colorless energy. Fair Seed. Here's Pikachu again. If one of your Dedenne used Dedenne Short during your last turn, this attack does 180 more damage. So that's 200 damage for 1 energy. There's probably going to be a deck made out of the Pikachu, Dedenne, and Togedemaru. So keep your eye out for that. Here's Virizion. This is 4S1. Cobalion, Terrakion, Keldeo are on your bench. This attack does 70 more damage for a total of 90 for 1. Then there's also Standard Leaf Drain. Saw some very interesting things about the next game, and I'm just going to say I'm very excited for it. There's a ton more Pokemon being added that they haven't shown in the trailers, and I think everyone's gonna enjoy it. It feels very Gen 7-y, if that's a term, and Gen 5 a little bit. It feels like Gen 5 again, where there's one side of the community that's going to hate it because it's not the original in quotation marks, and then there's gonna be people going, wait, that doesn't even look like a Pokemon, now it's a Pokemon. That's very interesting. I'm gonna try this new Pokemon in my game. That's how I feel like this Scarlet Violet release is going to go. Anyway, here's Lopunny. Let's get this out of here. There we are. Alright, here's Serena. Choose one. Discard up to 3 cards from your hand. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. And then switch one of your opponent's bench V's with their active. Interesting. Right? Regenerative Energy. This is a special energy. Basically, whenever you play a Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of the Pokemon V this card is attached to, heal 100 damage from that Pokemon. Alright, you have to flip them over. Here's Meowstic. This is kind of a forgotten Pokemon from Kalos, but still a very interesting Pokemon indeed. Inviting Ears. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 supporters, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So if you want to look for a Professor's Research, if you want to look for Lady, if you want to look for any of these really good supporters, you could just use a Meowstic if it's in your deck. Alright, Archeops. So Primal Turbo, once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energies, attach them to one of your Pokemon. So again, just acceleration. Just keep it on your bench at all times, and you should be good to go. Let me move this actually to the holofoil section. There we go. Energy. Wallace. It's the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire version of him as well. Draw 3 cards. Your opponent may draw a card. If they do, draw one more, I should say. Okay, so basically draw 4 cards if you let him draw 1. Jinx, Selfish Lips. If this Pokemon's knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's V, your opponent can't take any prize cards. Again, we have some very nice prize denial. Here's Brandon. You could use this card only when it's the last card in your hand. Draw a card for each benched Pokemon in play. So it's basically an ace up your sleeve. Nice. Let's get it. Here's Feebas. You could go straight into evolving into a Milotic with that attack. Here's Noibat. Snorunt. The Snorunt line in this set, you need to use Canvas. There's a lot of effects that require you to use Canvas, sorry, I'm thinking about my classes on Canvas. Canvas as in the Sinnoh Ice-type gym leader. You need to play that supporter card for its evolutions to work. Here's Sandile. Murkrow. Here's Fione. Is it a legendary Pokemon? I do not know. Search your deck for up to 3 basic waters and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Grass. Here's Braixen and Flare Parade. This attack does 60 damage for each Serena in your discard pile, so that's why you need to discard those Serenas. Morpeko. Peko Blaster. You could use this attack only if one of your Dedenne used Dede Short during your last turn. This attack does 60 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Very interesting. So you could have Dedenne, Togedemaru, Morpeko, and Pikachu. So it's almost all the Pika clones. The Emolga doesn't really do anything, so that's why excluding the Emolga. Sadly excluding the Emolga. It's from one of my favorite gens. But yeah, Morpeko, Dedenne, Togedemaru, Pikachu. Capturing Aroma. Alright, so this is going to be the money card. This is in competitive deck building. This is going to be a staple, as it's going to replace a lot of these quick balls. It's going to replace a lot of these search methods for Pokemon. As you could see, flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon. Or if it's tails, you just search for a basic. So either way, you're getting a Pokemon. It's a very good deal, especially with some of these Pokemon search item cards are phasing out here in the next year. You're going to want to stock up on these capturing aromas. Swablu. Rotom. Baneri. Drippy. Phanpy. Klinklang. Triple Gear. So when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic energies and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Alrighty. Energy. There's Altaria again. Behem. Psychic Arrow. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you apply weakness and resistance for all those Pokemon. So this is interesting because this is one of the instances where the bench Pokemon do take weakness and resistance. Emergency Jelly. At the end of each turn, if this Pokemon's card's attached has 30 HP or less remaining, has any damage counters on it, heal 120 damage from it. If you healed any damage this way, discard the card. Ooh, there's a revival herb in this artwork as well. There's Fennekin. There's Beldum, Beltoy, Sunkern, V-Star Marker, Durant, Emolga, and Beldum. Alright, so that was the first stack of these for the stream. Let's do one more half. Let's do this other half now. Starting with the Among Us. Let me just orient all these cards. Oh man, alright. Yeah, some of these have like a dust on top of them. I don't know why. I'm trying to look for any error cards too. These ones are all upside down. There we go. Okay. So we have Among Us, and has very sus attacks, I guess, and a sus ability. Surprising Spores. During your opponent's turn, if this Pokemon is discarded from your hand by an effect of an attack or ability from your opponent's Pokemon, by an effect by your opponent's item, supporter card, discard your opponent's hand. Ooh! Got him. We got all of their hand if they discard this Pokemon. Alright, Hypno Hammer. Pokemon's now, the opponent's active is now asleep, and you do 50 damage to it. Energy, Quad Stone. Alright. Oh no. Quad Stone fell. Quad Stone. You may use 4 Quad Stone cards at once. If you used 1 card, heal 10 damage from your active. If you used 4 cards, heal all damage from each of your Pokemon. The effect works 1 time for 4 cards. Ooh. Alright, Morpeko, Capturing Aroma, Lightning, Serena, Regenerative, Fletchinder, Solacis. I'm just trying to go fast here. We'll go moderate speed so we could see some of the artworks and the cards too. Sandygast, Armaldo. So for 1 colorless, you could do Reaping Claw. If your opponent's active Pokemon is 100 HP or less remaining, it is knocked out. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna make a deck out of this thing. Very interesting attack. Gym Trainer. This is the final print of Gym Trainer in the Sword and Shield era. As you can see, it still has a D rating, even though it's part of the F class of cards. So this is going to actually be phased out in January 2023. It's Kirlia. This was actually one of the pre-release promos because of its ability. You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. So it's basically like Radiant Greninja. Instead of drawing 3, though, you're drawing 2. Still gives you a draw engine. So if you want to free up that Radiant spot for some other Radiant Pokemon, now you could just use Kirlia. Here's Venomoth, Miracle Powder. Flip a coin. If heads, choose a special condition. Opponent's active is now affected by that special condition. You have to turn it again. Indeedee, Smart Service. If you go first, you can use this attack during your first turn. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. Very useful during a pre-release. Marini, we've seen. Mischievous, alright. Solacis. Here's our Delphox. Flare Parade. This attack does 60 for each Serena card, or Energy Crush. This attack does 50 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponents. There's quite a few cards that do that effect. Now we have a Fire type 1. Lopunny. Duosion. V-Guard Energy. Alright. The Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's V. and it can't be applied more than once. There's Sandile, Fennekin, Murkrow, Beldum, Baltoy. Oh no, Baltoy fell. Stonejourner. If you have no supporter cards in your discard pile, this attack does 130 more damage, so you're doing 190 for 3 energy. V-Star. Here's the Furisode girl. Search your deck for a basic and put it onto your bench and shuffle your deck. You may switch that Pokemon with your active. So it's kind of like a switch or Bird Keeper, but Bird Keepers draw 3 then switch, but kind of the same thing. You're still switching one of your Pokemon. Except, this one's more of a Pokemon search than, of course, a draw engine type supporter. Alrighty. Donphan. Overspin. If this Pokemon evolved during this turn, this attack does nothing, but afterwards you could do, look at that. 1 energy, 110. Nice. Breaks in. Worker. Sunflora. There's the infamous Sunflora. Bright Beam for 2 energy. You may discard up to 3 energy cards from your hand. This attack does 70 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So we're going to be doing 220. We discard 3 energy. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Primordial Altar, Fungus, Pikachu, Noibat, Togedemaru, Ralts, to get to our Curly and Gardevoir. Gardevoir, we were just talking about Gardevoir. Alright, Refinement. You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. It's the same ability as Curlia. Very nice artwork though, the Gardevoir in the flower field. Metal. Araquanid. Alright, so this is one of the coolest Pokemon they ever introduced in the games, in my opinion. It's basically a spider that has like a water surface tension thing on its head, and it's like a scuba diver. Really, really love that. Alright, Drowning Ball. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active is paralyzed, and discard an energy from that Pokemon. Ew. This would have been fun at the pre-release, actually. Alright. Golbat. Mischievous. Swablu. Swirlix. Rotom. Dreepy. Krokorok. Armaldo again. Alright. V-Star. Furisode girl. Donphan. Let me flip the Donphan over. Breaks in. Wilmer. Murkrow. Mulga. Meditite. Durant. Claydol. Mystery Charge. You can use this ability only if you have no supporter cards in your discard. Once during your turn, you may attach an energy card, a fighting energy card from your discard to one of your Pokemon. They really don't want supporter cards in your discard in some of these ones. Noivern. Okay, so this is interesting. That first attack, Radiant Hunt. Knock out one of your opponent's Radiant Pokemon. Then 7th Echo. Draw cards until you have 7 in your hand. Very nice. It's kind of like Bruno or Cynthia. Right. Middle, Dragonair, Venomoth, Wallace, Vulpix, Emolga, Chimecho. During your opponent's next turn, if an energy card is attached to the defending from your opponent's hand, the Pokemon will be asleep. Baneri, Drowsy, and Esper. That was the last of that pile. Alrighty, now here's the code card in all of its glory. Here's the full code card. There we go. There's it again. Alright. We'll do one more pile of the cards, and then I think we're going to call it a day for now. still have tons. There's like a few more of these bulk things, cards. Alrighty. Just take some of these ones out for the TCG Go. Happy Veterans Day to everyone who's a veteran, or if you have a veteran family. I want to say thank you for your service, and to all current serving members, thank you to your service as well. It's Veterans Day here in the United States, so just wanted to wish all the veterans out there Happy Veterans Day. Alrighty, let's go through this pile. Here's our Ninetales. Fanpy. Oops, I mixed up my piles. There we go. Indeedee. Marini. Mischievous. Alright, these are kind of going fast. There's a Crobat, but now a reverse rare Crobat. Another Delphox, very nice. Lightning Energy. Krokorok. Anorith. Meowstic. Here's Candace. Alright. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of water energy cards you find there and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Alright. Actually, this might be interesting with the Sunflora deck. You just use water energy instead of grass. Yeah, it could work because you need to get those energies into your hand for you to discard. I think it could work. Yeah, maybe. We'll have to test it. Alright, Feebas. Fanpy. Ulitin. Oops, before I spill all the cards, Rufflet. Dratini. Fennekin. Durant. Emolga. Beldum. Stunfisk. Fighting. Here's Dracloak. Metang. Anorith. Chimecho. Baneri. Drowsy. Spinarak. Here's a Zeraora. This was used a lot during the pre-release because of that Battle Claw. It was used a ton during the pre-release, actually. Sunflora again. Look how happy it is. Cute. Right, Spinda. Milotic. Alright, so Water Era. This attack does 50 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you could also put them to sleep with a Mellow Wave. Would have been used during the pre-release, I think, instead of any decks nowadays, but... Here's Professor Laventon, Dracloak, Metang, Indeedee, Marini, Mischievous, Swablu. Oh, I put in the wrong pile here too. There we go. Swirlix, Dreepy. So you can see there's a ton more Psychic type cards than any of the others so far. Gardevoir, Water, Stonejourner, Ferrothorn. Here's the Leafy Camo Poncho. Whenever your opponent plays a supporter from their hand, to prevent all effects of that card done to the Pokemon V-Star VMAX this card it's attached to. Relicanth. Shuffle up to 4 in any combination of unidentified fossil and rare fossil cards from your discard into your deck. Hawlucha. Rufflet. Vulpix. Drowsy. Armaldo. Double Armaldo. Okay. Energy. Regenerative. Here's a reprint of Unidentified Fossil. V-Guard. Spinda. Feebas. Noibat. Snorunt. Sandile. Worker. Psychic Energy. Toxicroak. Professor Laventon. Metang. Growlithe. Mischievous. Alright, something new is coming up in a little bit. I promise. Murkrow, Emolga. Oh, I can't even see the electric type pile anymore. Incineroar, reverse rare. Secret attack. So with that one, you could choose an attack from one of the Pokemon's previous evolutions. And then there's also Flare Shot. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. It's taking a cat nap. Look at that. Oh, it has a little snot bubble. It's very interesting. Very cute card. Alright. Fire Energy. Torracat. Dragonair. Donphan. Fennekin. Murkrow. Beldum. Baltoy. Sunkern. LGM. Toxapex. Lance. Clang. Meditite. Durant. Ralts. Fletchling. Dratini. Stunfisk. Mystery Bolt. You could use this attack only if you have no supporter cards in your discard. This attack does 100 damage to one of your opponents. Ooh. Alright, here's something new. Metagross. Emergency entry. Once during your turn, if you drew this Pokemon from your deck at the beginning of the turn and your bench isn't full before you put it into your hand, you may put it into your bench. If you do, draw 3 cards. And then Meteor Mash. The next time you use this attack, it'll do 100 more damage. Very interesting, but it does reset back to 100 because it doesn't scale 100, 200, 300. That would be too OP if it did, but yeah. You're just going 100 and 200, 100 to 200. Alrighty, there we go. Holofoils are right there. Energy, Duosion, and the last one for this stream is Wailord. Alrighty. Okay, before we go, here's one more code card. I am going to cover up the actual code, but there it is. Please enjoy. Alrighty, thank you so much everyone for tuning in, whether you're doing it now or later on when this is on VOD or my YouTube backup for all these streams. Hope everyone's having a wonderful week, and happy Veterans Day to all those who are veterans and those of veteran families. Thank you so much for all your service, if you've done for the country here in the U.S. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please have a good rest of the day. Do something nice for someone else. See you guys soon. Thank you so much, everyone. I will make sure to also announce on Twitter and Instagram about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet playthroughs that we will be doing in a week, since the game is coming out next week. So super excited for that, and I'll just let you guys know when I'll get the game and all the streams set up. Alright, thank you so much everyone. Have a good one.